Hello everyone, welcome back to another episode of the TechGuy Podcast. In today's episode, we have two headlines we are gonna talk about in the 10th episode of the TechGuy Podcast. So let's just get into it. So in today's episode, we have two topics that I wanna talk about. One is a major topic that I wanted to discuss from last. I wanted to discuss last week only, but I just didn't have that kind of like I didn't wrote anything in my notes while recording the podcast, so I was like, just let me record it in the next episode with much more detailed points and specifically my thoughts, and also do some basic research over it at least, because that topic about what I'm gonna talk about is when I wanted to talk about last week was I just read a headline that day and I was like, okay, we need to talk about that, but I didn't know much into it, so I was like, just let me read couple of articles. So that is one major headline, and second headline is bit of a just uh, a quick update type, and also that we can also talk about the two headlines that we are going to talk about in this episode are the first headline, major headline that we are going to talk about I'm going to talk about is the Australian government, which they are banning social media under 16 age. So basically the teenagers, they are banning the Instagram for teenagers in Australia under 16 basically. And the second uh, headlines that we are going, like, second point I'm going to talk about is about threads. They are introducing insights, and yeah, insights are basically like statistics about your threads account, like the follows and that kind of a thing. So that is not that much deep, but I also want to talk about threads from other things that I'm also basically enjoying over it, what they have done couple of weeks now. Have been giving a good updates over, like, especially the custom feed that I talked about in the last week. So I think let's just get into today's episodes. So I think first major topic I definitely want to talk about is the ban over social media under 16 age on Australia. So I know, like, the first reaction of majority of the people is like it was a polarizing decision. Like, basically when that decision was made, the reaction was polarizing. Basically uh the first the like one side was like, why they are banning it, should not, especially on X. When you see the comment section on under the articles, and what people say is like, this is just ridiculous, like couple of things. They also have good points on their side, but on the other side, obviously there are people supporting the decisions that they should ban social media under 16. But for me, my major reaction was is like, first of all, I was confused why they are doing it, because that is not a good solution to these problems we are facing. That is a genuine problem, not gonna lie. But my my point of this whole discussion will be making and like giving two sides of each other and decisions, and like the people, and also giving my perspective and what can and what should be doing. I think for my point here, because rather than taking harsh decision, I think sitting down and having a good healthy discussion about it is will be a good thing, rather than just like hating each other, like, in the comment section, especially what I saw on whenever, like, when this was actually announced in the last month it was announced, but it has been passed in the parliament in Australia last 2 weeks ago, I think. So there has been quite discussion going on the internet, both on all social media, Reddits, I think. So let's just, I think we should definitely deep dive in. So I think let's just I will just tell what this bill says is basically. So Australia is banning. They have passed a bill that bans social media for under age 16. So what it means that social media like Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, Snapchat, uh, that were mentioned by the government there, specifically when they are asked which platforms they have to be follow these rules, and these were the specific mentioned ones. There has not been uh, like these were the mentioned ones, but uh, they didn't talk about the smaller social media. Basically, like they didn't talk about the Reddit, they didn't talk about the Blue Sky, which is also gaining attraction. They didn't talk about the Mastodon, which is also an social media app. They didn't talk about X that much also. And the response on X by Elon Musk was, this is obviously not a good idea to ban under 16. Obviously, he talked about them free speech and blah blah blah. He just like definitely didn't like that what they are doing there. He or his response on X. And then there is Instagram and like the meta social media platform, Instagram and Facebook, which are a much bigger, I think much big number of platform in terms of number, according to, obviously, like in terms of number wise they are much bigger than the other ones. But TikTok is also in there, and Snapchat. So these were the platform that were discussed, like uh, were mentioned while asked which they have to follow, but not the others, like I said here, like Blue Sky. Uh, and uh, they have also excluded the messaging platform like WhatsApp. I don't know about the other messaging platform like Telegram. There is Facebook Messenger, like there are also. So at least they have named WhatsApp, but WhatsApp will not be included in this bill. Like WhatsApp and YouTube, which are educational platform. Especially YouTube is educational platform. It comes under educational platform too. And WhatsApp is a kind of a mean to communication between students and teacher. So I think that was not included in this bill for for those reasons. But yeah, and the shocking thing was for me is like online gaming is also not included. That is also excluded from this bill. So they have not banned, like not just banned, but they have not basically included, like, okay, you are specifically these four couple of social media platforms are, you are passing this bill on these couple of apps, but social media apps, but not on the others things that are also much worse or also much like equal to the social media apps too, like that is gaming. So it was a bit of a shocking decision, and a really, I think, from my side I will say a lazy work from the government. I will say it is not much more clarified how it has. They have just totally given up this couple of names of social media platforms and said that okay, this is what the problem is and you have to deal with it. Yeah, not nor the parents nor the government will be uh, having any discussion over it. That means like you have to like they have given the social media platforms to find a solution to actually to do what, basically to ban social media whoever is using under 16 in their country. So it just feels like, mm, first of all I say like a lazy bill. Like I don't know how they thought about, I don't know how much they have they had a discussion over there in the parliament in there. But it is a vague and really what I can say is much more uh, not a discuss and much more detail what we can, we should have, and we can discuss it and talk about it. But rather than they just like blatantly cut off everything, and it like yeah, it's not our problem, it's your problem, and you have to deal with it. And if you don't, you have to pay fines that is, I think, $30 million. So I mean, it's a really uh, it is basically, like I said, a not good decision. First of all, I think, okay, let's just keep aside everything and talk about the bill. Like, even if we think about the bill, what they have said, it feels like they didn't thought about it before making that much. It's like, we know social media is bad for teenagers, what is happening especially on those online platforms, that is bullying, cyberbullying, and then the there are a lot of other bad things that I want definitely not mention here right now for not making this big of a podcast right now in terms of length. But there are lots of things. Then there are factors like children are not going outside to play, like they have been stuck on their phones all day, especially on the holidays. So that is the external thing. I'm much specifically, we should be much more worried about the cyberbullying thing that is happening, and lots of things, other lots of things. So what I really wanted to from this bill is to find a solution to it. That is was happening past 2 months, where when I saw when Meta, basically like Instagram, launched their Instagram Teens account that we also covered in the last to last podcast, I think, that about Instagram Teens, which basically a Instagram for teens under 16 age, that can have this specific restriction for those who are under 16. So it is uh it was the movement was started by Meta, at least, that they are taking steps towards making social media a healthy place, especially for teenagers that is under 16 at least, and making it a safe place for them by making a teens account for them. So basically it was getting to the point, at least those companies were stepping into it and were taking these discussions onto the online. And I was actually really shocked that at least it was from the side of the, at least from years, that we lots of people are talking how social media is ruining children's, and especially the things are happening, the social media apps should do something. And then we find out that last 2 months ago, then this teens account that got launched, and I was specifically happy about it. Yeah, and I covered it, and I was like, okay, at least we are starting to get the, where at least in the from the at least we are starting to get everything from, at least from the both sides, not just one side from other people or the users. So the company has also started to make moves from their side, especially Meta from their Instagram teens account, as we can see that they did it. So it was a good move. But what happens in this kind of situation is like, it is way much more complicated than we think. For some people, they may think that, oh, we definitely should ban social media for under 16, and it is a not good thing. But there are, but like, we can mention 10, 15 things that are bad, what social media does to uh, a child, especially at that age. But there are other 10, 15 things that are counter to those points, that are also been can be talked and be discussed, and there have been back and forth throughout the years for past 10, 15 years on social media. So it is a long going debate. And what we really want, especially what I really want from these social media apps, to have those good points to be much more highlighted, and how we can reduce, or how you can, you know eliminate those bad points of social media, especially the bullying point, uh, the is on screen time of children, how you can reduce it, how you can benefit from social media platform much more, and rather than just in like terminating social media platform, using it to our children's benefits. There are lots of things beneficial for our children on the other hand, but there are also really bad stuff happens on the internet, and the parents are worried too from that, those things that they see. And they and it's an obvious thing that parents can't control their child like 24/7 like a robot. They will do whatever they want to do. It's our responsibility, and uh, with the mutual talk, with the awareness, and specifically from the company side like Metas, to join the discussion and put forward some features, some functions that may help it. So it was happening past 2 months, like especially Instagram Teens account was a major step, I think, towards it. But when I saw this bill, it was first my reaction was first of all why, and why such a harsh step we are taking regarding this, which is a complicated topic, I think, for me at least, when I think about it much of a, like for past week. And I think we should definitely try to find a middle ground here, because the major problem with this bill was for like when I started reading basically articles, and especially when I read on Verge and couple of articles, and I also try to read the response by the Meta company that they did given to the, I think, Parliament there. I do have that, but I will be taking reading more of it. But it seems that they have not thought about it before this passing this bill. It is, yeah. So I don't know how much people have discussed it there, and I haven't even found that there's those kind of much more videos over there too about it on the internet right now when I'm recording this. So um it is like I say, first of all, the age verification. There are lots of things to come into this when this bill comes. Like there are age verification, that how are we specifically, that is a major problem. How are we gonna specifically verify the age of a, not just like people under 16, but anyone. The age verification was one of the factors uh, that is really important, that obviously when you know the age, then we can restrict people from coming to your platform if they literally can ban under 16. But that is a major factor. If no age, like there are a couple of things, like you can do a KYC, which is basically with the help of your government IDs, that is your ID proof, you can prove yourself you're with a age verification, I think. Then uh, that is also not other option that has, because that is a good option, but obviously it's a sensitive data, that is a your own personal data, government data, that you don't want to give to a social media platform. So it is also a no-go from not just from the people but also from the government. They have also said that they don't want to use to, like, do not use ID proofs for the age verifications. Then what are the other options? Like some people said on the internet, like how about the like uh, face verification through face verification, but there are complications to it too. So age tracking or like age verification is one of the most trickiest thing. So rather than like, yeah, and I think, personally speaking, I don't think we should go over even to the that route over banning social media accounts. So like not account, like banning social media under 16 age. I think the best part to do this for especially for ch children's under 16, like teenagers, is to, I think, that the best solution that is given by the Meta, that is especially at least right now on the Instagram, that is teens account that they have given. So basically, if you don't know what teens account is, like the people who are using the social media accounts which are under 16, their accounts automatically will be uh, privated that, and the majority of the like their parents, whoever their parents also will have a major control over their child's account, especially the like the permissions like publishing your account, especially what kind of topics the uh, what kind of topics that the uh, what kind of topics that their child is exploring through, especially what kind of like who is DMing their child, even if their account is private, and especially who are the people their child is interacting with the most. Obviously they will not be seeing the actual chats, but at least they will be knowing the person. Okay, these are the 10 accounts that my child is my child is interacting with on the social media platform, which is a big deal, I will say. Because we don't know right now what what our child what parents children's, like especially younger ones like 14, 15, under 16, all like what they are basically doing on the internet. So having those kind of information at least have kind of a relief for the parents, so what their child is doing on the internet. So obviously it is another thing that when they bought the topic of the teens account first, like a month ago, there was obviously a major topic also there about how the age verification is going to be. So Meta's response to that was they are working on an age verification system which will help them. So in future they are still working on it. So right now what they are trying to do is they are testing this teens account on the couple of countries. So Australia is one of them, I think they mentioned when they announced it. I hope they do it, but I hope they do it much more quicker on these updates. But yeah, they also like, even if like like I said, like verification is the major role plays here. Like you can't verify basically an account like it is much harder to do that. Even if when they were announcing their Instagram teens account, they kind of mention it there too. So it is a big problem for them too. So and they are working on the, as from their side this was their response. And I personally think that the Instagram teens account, and not just Instagram, like it can be given, like it can be basically extended towards Facebook, at least for the all Meta platforms, you know. It can be extended towards it, like then other platforms can see those and can have their own kind of uh, like teens account, or specifically social media catered some social media features catered towards only children's who are using under 16. So it is a kind of a good solution and in between solution, rather than just banning, because there will be a repercussion of if you just ban social media on, especially this popular social media that majority of the people are using. And what are the side effects? See, s- ultimately I think the biggest example was is blue sky right now. You know, when 3 months ago, when the Brazil situation happened, where the X was banned by the Brazil government, like the church there, when the X or platform didn't, you know, uh, like didn't, I think, uh, what like X platform didn't cooperate with their demands, that is to ban some accounts, and Elon Musk said that we are not gonna do that, the X said, and then Brazil banned this basically banned the X on their country. And they also, then the majority of the people moved on from there. So basically when the X was banned in Brazil, then basically it most of the users moved on to the blue sky, that is a new emerging social media platform too. So they got millions of users in month of September, I think August, September, when it all happened. Obviously now the X is again in back in Brazil, but they have to pay the fine, I think. And so you see people move on to the other platforms. It's not that this platform will like this ban will help Australian government to reduce what the problems they are talking about. That people will like children will just move from okay, not Meta platform or not this platform. They can just move from there to you know the other platform like Blue Sky. You know, so it is not a kind of solution that they will be happy with. There will be repercussion and there can be a bad repercussion of it. What happens, when these social media platforms, when especially big as Metas get banned in a country, what happens is major like the audience get dispersed and they just move on to the other platforms like Blue Sky. There are Reddit is there, and there are lots of other small other platforms that is right now available. So it is kind of an not a good solution, obviously. And then we have not even talk about the games, that they have not even included in this bill. That like games are excluded, and my like reaction was why. That is also a big reason, you know like why are not games included in those bills if you are including social media platforms, especially games like Roblox. That is a lot of bad stuff happen there. Then like especially every game where a chat is involved, there is like back and forth chatting is involved by an uh, by players. So like even in Minecraft too happens a lot of the time. So lot of stuff that is like lot of stuff that feels uh not like incomplete. This bill feels incomplete. This whole part where banning social media accounts, is this some kind of political thing that is going on, just want to get people's attention there in Australia? Is it just a kind of an to create a ruckus over? I don't know. I think it could have been a better take over it rather than just like banning social media. I think rather than that, I think we should put strict restriction towards social media about people who are under 16, at least 18. People who are under 16 or 18 should have strict restriction about what, and should be under pa- should give like what teens account give on Instagram. Every social media account should have, so at least parents can know or can have a kind of a relief that okay, what is going on the social media with their child. And I think that is reasonable to let to get to let your child use social media account, because you know social media has led to a much really good things, finding community, finding people around the world, finding your own, creating your own community around your areas. And you know that those kind of things which really lets connect to the people, like you know I'm not even talking about the communities like pop culture, like the tech communities, or even like there are communities which especially whenever you are in high school, you are new to things and you are experiencing new things. So finding people who are also alike, alike like you at that age, and also finding a community is really helpful and much really helpful and really important for them to finding people around them, at least whatever is going on. So there are a lot of good things happen can be, there are a lot of good things, and there are, and I think we should definitely think about it, and rather than just like eliminating those things, we should try to reduce and try to basically uh, how you can reduce those cyberbullying things, or like the bad points that we that happens on the social media platforms. And it is an important thing to have. So I think rather than just like this extreme uh, points, like this extreme taking these extreme measures, I think we should have a mutual discussion. That is really, really important. um, I hope it doesn't I hope it does well in future, this with this help of at least what is happening with this bill. I hope there is a good mutual understanding and solution in between this. uh, let's see. I will be obviously covering this whole news over the couple of months, next couple of months too, because it is important to talk about it. It is interesting topic, and let's see what we can do, like what will happen. Like I'm interested to know what this will cover into. Like, will this like have a chain reaction? Like if Australia is doing that, then the other countries also will be doing start to do it, or will this have uh, a repercussion? Like l- letting like if the ban happens, and then bad if the ban happens and there is repercussion, like people are moving on to other platforms, social media platforms, other forums. There are lots of things like people can go on the internet. It's not just social media. So i hope I hope just like rather than taking these extreme measures, what happens, like I'm interested to see. So that was it about this was the major topic I want to talk about this week, about the banned social media accounts, about wow, social media platforms. And there there are point like these are the points that is obviously I want to talk about. I think I covered all points that I have written here, but yeah, if there is like I want to talk about more, what I will do, um, uh, get more points. And if you have your own points and what your own thoughts about it, do let me know in the comment section. And let us know what are your thought. you know like I do want to see much audience perspective towards it, rather than just like you know s- like just straight like hating it, or like I want a genuine comments about it. So I hope we can have a good discussion. I will obviously we will be seeing this what is happening on the internet, what are people talking about it. And if I find someone on the uh, if I find someone on this who is extensively talking about it, I will try to bring that person on the podcast too. Or if someone in the Australia seeing this, or if someone from the Australia creator I can find about it, which is knowledgeable about it and what is happening there, I will definitely try to get it. So that's it for this topic, I think. So moving on to the next, that is the threads one that I'm going to talk about. So threads, first of all, moving on to that topic about insights, I want to talk about the threads experience I've been having last 2 weeks, especially after the customs, after the custom feeds that have been introduced. The majority of my time, like the majority of my time that on social media goes on the threads now, just because it got introduced. It has now this custom feeds in it. I'm so glad they have introduced it. Like it is just like a game changer thing for me. I didn't knew that can be a good how it can be such a good thing to use. So when threads introduced custom feeds, I was like, I created two. mm, I created one custom feed that is tech, which just involves my basically the Verge articles, the post by Verge, the 9 to 5 Mac, 9 to 5 Google, lots of other people who just covers about tech majority. So there is just this text section, and there is following, and there is following, and I'm loving the text section of me. Like, I can just like, because major like lots of time what happens is like whenever I go to the threads now is like sometime I just want to see what is going on the tech, you know tech feed. So I just go on my tech feed and see what are the posts that have been posted by those publishers and the people I follow on this, like who just post about tech things. And then there is following page, which is also a good, uh, but that custom feed is such a game changer, because my my time on Twitter has been less now. I do like my I will be using like Twitter for like 10 to 15 minutes a day only. Yeah. So that is, having a good experience on a social media is a rare thing for me, because uh like for past 2 years, especially for threads, even like threads has been 2 years right now, I think, or 1 year, more than 1 year, I think. It has not been good. So even on Instagram. So I think having those kind of custom feeds, which is genuinely helping me to just see the post that I want to really see, and let's see what in future, like what happens of this. Like I hope Twitter and Instagram also have custom feeds on there, because Blue Sky has it custom feeds that you also, that is also great. On Blue Sky I follow basically photography, astronomy, and yeah, these are the two main feeds I follow on, basically. uh, Blue Sky, which is great. Those are great feeds if you are into astronomy and photography things. Just want to see those posts, like. And on Twitter, like, I hope Twitter also get custom feeds in future. Like if they don't, like I will be not using Twitter for them much more than 5 to 10 minutes a day. I will be just using following page of Twitter, not even for you. Like custom feeds is really good. So yeah, now let's talk about the insights that threads is testing right now. They have not introduced to everyone. Like even I didn't got it right now on my um right now. Still I'm recording, I didn't got it, but so basically insights is like literally like a metrics. How there is on Instagram, then it's right now just like on Instagram, which is now on your threads. What it does, like, it gives, I think, most viewed posts. What are your most viewed posts on threads. Then there are views on posts. Then there are followers and non-followers metric, and filter filter out for specific dates. And so, like, if you, as you are seeing this picture right now here posted by Adam, you can see a couple of things here, that especially the followers and non-followers graph, like the comparison, and then filter out specific uh, post and see their statistics, like insights, uh, statistics and insights. And yeah, it's pretty much basic, and not much kind of a much not much kind of a thing to talk about it. But uh, it, the reason I'm talking about this, like, I think they are like fast, at least for like past 2 months, they are really taking good decisions, especially about threads, because now, like, last week they also announced, like, I think Zuckerberg posted it on threads about how he's like they are trying to also testing the fit also testing another function where you can choose your default feed whenever you open the app. So whenever you open the app, you can choose, okay, you just want to see following page when you first open the app, then you can choose your default feed. So I hope that also gets uh, really quick for update for everyone. And insights also a good thing. A basic metrics is definitely helpful for creators like me, or the creators who actively working on the social media platforms. But what they really need to give is more metrics for creators if they want to like in future. But this is a good start, at least for now. uh, Metrics is one of those things that is definitely useful for creators. And but right now on threads, like most majority of the post I see are especially in for you page, majority of the post I see are memes, at least for now. Memes are there. It's a combination of memes, combination of my people I follow, their posts, combination of some new people and some mutual people in between. So it is, I'm not seeing any kind of different and out of the box. Like there hasn't been an experience on thread for me, like, oh, I really like this creator in like in a for you page and just like follow them and what they are posting about it. And it has happened to me on Twitter lots of time at the early days of Twitter, when I used to when I started Twitter like 2 years ago. But it also doesn't happen in Twitter much more nowadays. But it does happen on Instagram much majority of the time when I watch reels. I do get a couple of uh, whenever the reels they posted, then I do get, you know, uh, and then I can literally just see their account. Like Insta, it is much more higher rate for me to follow an creator from a for you page from Instagram reels, or whenever I'm scrolling through, than Twitter for you and threads for you page. Because I haven't seen anything great that like just like, oh, this creator is great, I should follow him on both threads, like thread and Twitter. On Blue Sky it has been couple of times, but I it's like the Blue Sky is definitely much more like I just use it for my astronomy and photography feed. So it is 50-50, like. So Blue Sky don't include Blue Sky here, but I hope it I hope uh, threads and Twitter both boost much more creators than just meme pages. I think there are multiple times that has happened to me that I have muted uh, lots of meme pages, because not just meme pages, there are random account just post memes, and I don't know why they are getting recommended my on my feed for you page you know so I hope in future I just get to see much more creators, more people who post on these platforms, so I can follow good like I can see good content on both the platforms. For right now it is not happening that much. uh let's see. This is like you can say an update of what is happening on platforms for me, and this is like a documentation for myself and also for you, like actually what is happening, at least for my algorithm, and not be able to see those kind of accounts. I hope it gets better, especially on Twitter, because I'm enjoying threads now. So that is one my perspective towards it, especially about for you page. Then I want to talk about the new, yeah, the Fediverse news, that is now, from now you can follow the people who have followed, liked, and reply from other platform, from threads. So basically, uh, if you don't know what Fediverse is, basically the Fediverse is basically is a network of social media platforms. Simplifying the things here, that is let's say let's say you are posting on threads and you have turned, like basically you have to turn the Fediverse. It is an option in the settings on the threads. You have to go and select and on it, because it's in beta, it's not default on for everybody. But what Fediverse does, like if you on it, What Fediverse does is like whatever the platforms that are in the Fediverse, what it does is what happens when you post, whenever you post on threads, your post also will be seen on the other social media platforms like Blue Sky or Mastodon, where it is definitely because those platforms are connected to, because those platform are connected to the Fediverse. So it's like you don't have to create multiple accounts, or you don't like, it's like interconnected network where interconnected posts, like even if I post my one well even if I post on Twitter, let, sorry, Twitter is not in the Fediverse. Like, even if I post on my threads, my post will be seen on basically Blue Sky or Mastodon, and people on Blue Sky and Mastodon can see my post and like it, reply it, and I will see those likes and reply on my threads account, on my threads app, specifically mentioning these are from Fediverse. So like if you don't get, here is some kind of an example you will be getting seen on the screen here, which is you like uh like 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 I said, like interconnected network kind of thing. People from here can see their posts, from people from there can see much more posts from other like this platform. So it is an interconnected network. From so this new update on Fediverse, what it does is you can follow people from the other platform. That is basically you can follow people who have replied for followed or even liked your post from other platforms to onto your threads through Fediverse, and you can also follow those platforms on those other on those platforms, and you can follow those platform, and that will be seen on your threads if you are using threads as a Fediverse main, as a main Threadiverse account. So it is kind of an, like I said, like network, and much more kind of an uh, interconnected, it's a much more social thing. And a good part of Fediverse, like good thing of Fediverse is a reachability, and much more, like you can see much more people, like what will be like I have made like we have talked about Fediverse like on this podcast past two, and I've made couple of on my newsletter I have talked about it a lot, like how future can literally the Fediverse is the future for social media accounts, especially the threads, like all, even Twitter should get involved in it, but it is not right now. But it is a platform that can change, so can change majority of the things in future if it does its if they make a right decision at the right time and consistently stay on the mission what they believe of it. So if you're not on Fediverse, go on Threads if you have Threads or any other platform that supports Fediverse, and go and on it, because it's in beta for majority of the platform, and you will see how it works on your um, on your accounts on, and you will have your own experiences. But uh, if you want to know more about Fediverse and how it is a game changer thing, or like how in future it will much more evolve, I will link down couple of news letters that I've written on Fediverse in the description, and I will also link down the podcast that I talk about how Fediverse in it much more detailed in the link down again in the description below. So do check out those couple of things. It is, if you want, like if you are a creator and if you want to grow in future, and if you just like having want to know what the internet is going to look in next 5 years, you know like do check out those newsletter I have written. So these are the two main topics I wanted to talk about this week, and I hope you enjoyed it. I think this is it for this week's uh the Tech Guy podcast episode number 10. I think, yeah, 10 episodes have been done good. So this is it for today's episode of the Tech Guy. I will meet you in the next week, which with much more episodes with much more headlines, I will say, because we have been doing only two topics for past 2 weeks. But on the next week, I will be doing a couple of multiple topics. A bigger podcast will be there, and especially definitely we are going to talk the topics like the Google cases that Google is going on, especially about the monopoly, what is actually happening on there, about the monopoly of Google. And also we are going to talk about uh, um, the bad decision that Twitter has, I think, uh, taken, and why it's like having backlash, especially that I wanted to talk this week, but I will move on to next week. But yeah, couple of new topics I want to definitely talk about. And yeah, also game of the year event just happened last, like yesterday only. Astro Boy won. I didn't expected that. I wanted obviously the Wukong to be a game of the year, but it's okay. I didn't play all games, so I don't know. But that's it for today's episode. Uh, I hope you guys enjoyed it, and I will see you guys in the next episode of the Tech Podcast. See ya.